Hello everyone, Jesse Webb, Traders Pro. Market conditions, bullish in a bull market. Had a nice little pop higher. We'll look at S&P 500 here shortly. Seeing momentum and breadth now in this upper extreme range. These are now areas that we want to start to show a little bit of caution in terms of either tightening up stops or exiting losers that you may have at this point, and watching for at least a little pause right here. Let's look at SPY while we've got it up right here and see we're moved up into this extreme range. Really a continuation, really some nice bullishness here in the market. But these summer months, sometimes we can get a light volume as things are moving higher. And we get up into these upper extreme ranges. Doesn't necessarily mean we get a full reversal all the way back down the other direction. It just means that sometimes that move higher, in this case over the last 3 or 4 days, maybe a little bit unsustainable, and we need a little move back into this buy zone. So we could here technically retrace and retest this area on SPY around that 445 range. We'll see what the next couple of days look like here on SPY. Still overall bullish though. Let's go back and look at, we've got buy-sell ratio, which is also really strong right here. Still really hasn't moved much higher. This is the range I want to see it back up in. So we're just not seeing still massive participation in this rally currently, which is just really fascinating at this point. So we're towards the upper end of both the buy-sell ratio range, also sentiment approaching that upper range. On NASDAQ, we are in this upper area right here. So you can see historically it just is not sustainable. It needs to pull back. It can certainly stay as long as it's above that 50 range. You can see that 50 right here. Then you're still going to maintain an overall uptrend. But once you get up into these extreme ranges, then I have to allow for a little bit of a backfill, a little bit of a pullback on the market as a whole. Let's look at a few stocks here in the new buy list, see what we've got working today. We had I saw this stock on Friday, big move, 18%er, put it all the way up to the high end of the extreme. We know that what that means is, that's just a long ways away from being able to set a stop at that low point. Would like to see that pull back. That being said, sometimes when these are breaking out, you can get some continuation on the follow through, but it's a higher risk location to enter because we have to allow for at least the entire confirmation bar as a risk level, as a stop loss location. And we don't have to, but that's kind of the best practices with this overall model, is looking for this, having your confirmation bar as the max risk going into the trade. So the low of that bar, and then in this case that's 18%. So that may be a pretty wide stop. Nonetheless, we get some nice momentum moving on these, and they can really pop and get some continuation going forward. Let's take a look here at the next few. Biomedical stock, not a great looking pattern, pretty volatile here. You can see just a lot of sideways chop. And when we get that, when we don't get the continuation, the follow through on the momentum, it ends up looking like this. We get some false signals, and that happens in non-trending bear market type conditions. So there's times where the momentum trade, following these type of trades right here, they'll work in certain market conditions. So we may see some of these stocks now start to break out and continuation of the overall trend versus these resistance areas that they were running into during this last bear market, which we're really out of the bear market as a whole, at least in terms of equity pricing. Let's move to the next stock here. That's VRNA, JFIN. Same story here. This is a stock that has the potential to really fly. It went from 3 to 6 in this last move. It's already had a pretty big run here from these lows, but it's just barely entering that overall uptrend buy zone location. Not a really compelling confirmation bar. Okay, what this looks like here, we'd want to see that a solid green versus, in this case, a black green. A black green, when you're on the signals setting here, is essentially just a down day on a traditional candlestick color. So here we opened higher and then traded lower and then rallied back up, but ultimately it was a down day where this was the open, this was the close, so it traded lower for that overall day. that's not a real solid confirmation bar, but we are approaching that area now to look for some opportunities. Now, if you see those black candlesticks, that's what those represent, is you've got a down day with an overall uptrend. And you'll see those from time to time. So if you're on the signal setting and you're seeing these black bars like this here when it's green, it's just to let you know that you're still in an uptrend buy signal, but you've got a down day during that overall uptrend. You'll notice these black candles right here. Those are just down days, consolidation days, still within an overall uptrend. And so if you want to see what that looks like without the signal on the chart, you just toggle this over here to candlesticks, and that'll give you the traditional candlestick perspective. Okay, let's move on. JFIN, keep an eye on that one. See if we get any stability on that today. MDXG, nice breakout and retesting here. The breakout, the retest, it's now finding support at these areas and working on a confirmation bar here at this point as well. ZETA, I'm going to refresh this just to make sure. I think I just did that already, but let's take a look here. BRNA, JFIN, MDX. Okay, we are here. So LFST, this is really the last one in the top 5 medical. This is probably the nicest looking chart, by meaning we don't have a lot of volatility up and down. We have a nice consistent trend moving higher. We have a breakout and a retest of this support, and now we have a confirmation bar that is only 6% away from a stop loss location. Okay, so if we were to enter into that trade and set a stop loss at the low point of that confirmation bar, that good solid green bar, now we're in this buy zone here, we can set a stop loss around that 6% so that we know that if it were to immediately reverse and close below this bar, then our stop is at 6%. We're out of the trade. Something's broken. Something didn't work. We don't want to stick around and find out what the issue is. We just want to make sure that initial trade that we've got, that initial set of risk capital protected by utilizing a stop loss, and we can set it at that low. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.